Joey, look out. Oh, they're in the wall. A.J. Allmendinger is in the fence. The entire pack blows up.
Caution and checker. Waiting.
And Ricky Stenhouse has won the Daytona 500.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daytona 500 winner.
Go!
Let me tell you, that's been a long time coming.
Well, it was a little over 12 hours ago that we were here in Victory Lane crowning Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as our Daytona 500 champion, and now we're back the morning of. The obvious question, what do we do to celebrate? What time do we go to sleep? How much partying we get done?
We went to Waffle House, which was a must. I get a bacon, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl and a pecan waffle.
Okay.
We already went to that Waffle House a couple times this week, and I went there for the Rolex when I was down here for the Rolex. So then came back to the bus lot. The guys were done with tech, and then they came over the bus and we hung out and had some drinks and just reminisced about the whole night and really the whole week and how much work they've put in this off season. It was special. Got about 2.5 hours of sleep, and then we were back here in Victory Lane. But that was cool. That was kind of, I feel like, when everything kind of started sinking in, was coming back to Victory Lane this morning and doing all the media that we get to do.
Well, I spoke with your crew chief, Mike Kelly, last night, and the whole crew, you can tell that this is just an emotional win for everybody. JTG Doherty is the little engine that keeps going. What does this win mean to you as a driver, but also for you driving for that organization?
Yeah, for me in my career, it's the biggest accomplishment that you can have, and obviously winning a championship would be next on the list. And so to get this race win, I was talking to Tony Stewart last night, someone who has won here so many times but never got that Daytona 500, and kind of came to me when talking to him how special and important this race win was. And then, yeah, single car team. JTG Doherty Racing's been in this sport so long. We've got guys back at our shop that have been working in NASCAR for 30-something years, had never had a car go to Victory Lane. We got guys on our team that this is their first Victory Lane, and for me, it's been a long time since I've been to Victory Lane, so it was cool to get that that kind of monkey off our back, get back into Victory Lane, and hopefully we can do it more often.
We all know that at the end of these races, it's the final lap that counts, but for you, it was kind of the last 2 or 3 laps. So walk me through what the end of the race looked like and what you were kind of feeling and thinking inside of the car.
Man, it was wild. So I got that speeding penalty, and all I could think to myself was like, I've got to get back to the front so that I don't get yelled at too bad in our competition meeting, because we talked about not speeding so much this off season. And I felt like I let the team down at that moment, but we had that caution. I was like, all right, here's my opportunity to get back to the front and give us that chance. And we got back to the front, and then when we restarted 6th and the 8 was on the front row with the 3, the 8 pulled down to go with his teammate on the restart. I was like, man, here's our opportunity, because I watched throughout the whole race, anytime the leader switched lanes, it kind of killed the momentum of that lane, just for a corner or the length of the backstretch, and that was all that we needed to push the 22 to the lead. And then I had my buddy Kyle Larson behind me, obviously, and I knew once we got Joey far enough out, if I dumped him and went to the bottom, that Kyle was going with me. And all that worked out perfectly, but then the caution came out, and then everything kind of went according to plan as far as where everybody picked. It's the first super speedway we had where we got to choose, and I think that was very beneficial in getting us the win.
I say these next numbers and these next stats as a very positive thing, because it's kind of a motivation towards the never give up attitude. But it's been 2,060 days since you won a race.
I heard that last night.
199 winless streak that has been broken. Does that even matter now? You're crowned a Daytona 500 champ. Who cares about the long number?
The wait's worth it. Definitely. I could have had a few wins sprinkled in here and there, but if I could have traded that for a Daytona 500, I definitely would. So, never give up attitude. My buddy Mikey Waltrip waited, I think, 420-something days, he said, before he won the Daytona 500 and a long winless streak. So we weren't quite that long, but it was a long time. And you get frustrated as a driver not getting to Victory Lane and not making the playoffs and not living up to the goals and expectations that you have for yourself. And us race car drivers are We expect to win. We like winning, and you know, the Nationwide Series career that we had, every time we showed up to the racetrack, we expected to win, and that was a great feeling. And then it's tough when you don't have that feeling every week. But I like where we're at as a race team. I feel like we've learned a lot this offseason that I'm super pumped to get to other racetracks, because I think we're going to be a lot better than we were last year.
Well, we head to the West Coast next, and barring how many winners we get this season, the 47 right now is locked into the playoffs. So West Coast, we start the season off strong. Have you even thought about playoff picture yet, or what you have to do over
Definitely
the next 5
not.
or 6 weeks?
Definitely not. And it's just like, people when they're like, hey, did you figure out what you were going to do for Victory Lane at the Daytona 500? I was like, no, you try not to think that far ahead, week to week. We know that in this sport, in our playoff system, you need to average a 14th or 15th place finish to point your way in on the playoffs. So that's still like what we're looking at. We're gonna go to these next 26 races like we don't have a win. We want to be consistent. We want to run up front, and we want to average at least a 14th place finish, so that I, for one, feel more confident about making the playoffs and being up there in points. And with this car, it's the second year on it. Like I said, I think we learned a lot this offseason. We got a better alliance with Hendrick and with Chevrolet, and I think that's going to propel us forward this next season for 24 more races. I think we got before the cutoff.
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
All right, well, you got the ring, you got the jacket.
And the watch.
Very deserving, and the watch.
Thank you.
Daytona 500
Thank you.
champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.